Before I start the video, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, please click the like button and leave comments in the comments section. Today, I'm going to be discussing some of the goings-on when it comes to Twitch. And specifically, the first thing I'm going to hit is the recently settled lawsuit between Kaceytron and Ethan Klein, and some of the possible ramifications that could become of it as it applies to Frogan, Denims, and even possibly Hassan Piker, who just can't keep his feet out of his mouth. So the first thing I got is I've got the video queued up for Kaceytron's apology, so we're just going to flip over to that.
And by stating I take responsibility for infringing the content.
By the way, I do not want to see any negative. I don't want to see people being rude to her. I genuinely have forgiven her. I'm moving on, and it's water under the bridge. I don't want to see anybody being. I'm being dead serious. No, let's not be now.
All right, I'm going to stop it here. Non-disparagement clauses are pretty common in these kind of settlements. I haven't seen the full settlement agreement, but I'm going to bet just about anything that there's a non-disparagement clause in there, which means Kaceytron cannot talk bad about Ethan Klein, and Ethan Klein cannot talk bad about Kaceytron. So that's why Ethan is probably being real nice here and saying, don't come after her, don't say anything bad about her, we're all done, it's water under the bridge. Of course, he did win, so there is that too. At the same time, I'm looking at Kaceytron. She's obviously reading from a script that was written by an attorney, I'm almost positive, and she just looks like a broken person at this point. I mean, it looks like somebody sucked the soul right out of her as I'm watching this already. And you can also look, her eyes are looking down, she's looking away. Her body language, everything about it, this is a broken person. I don't see how she's going to recover from this. She's just a mess in my opinion. I don't think she's going to come out of this very well. And as we're going to find out, I think she's going to have a lot of problem with some people that supported her.
Nasty to her, guys. This is it. Okay, it's over. We won. That's it. We won, right? So let's just move on and thank her. Thank you.
For infringing
I'm being dead serious. Please do not.
The lawsuit was not frivolous. When I said the lawsuit was frivolous and based on misogyny, it was to garner sympathy, protect my own reputation, and retaliate against the Kleins. This lawsuit has given me a greater understanding of copyright protection, people's copyrights, and the importance of protecting copyrights in the online content creation community. It is important for the entire content creation community to respect the intellectual property rights of other creators, and I will adhere to the lessons I've learned.
Okay, yeah, definitely written by an attorney. You got a lot of legalese in there, especially like the word adhere. Normal people do not use the word adhere. That is legalese. Okay, this whole thing is basically been written by an attorney, and all she's doing is soullessly reading it. Like I said, this means absolutely nothing. This apology is BS. She's been made to do it by the settlement. I'll guarantee you that was a condition of the settlement, is that she had to go on and go to her audience and say, basically, I screwed up. I was wrong. Ethan was right. I'm sorry. Yada, yada, yada. So yeah, this means nothing. This is BS. I doubt she really means it. It's just, she's completely broken at this point.
Throughout this process going forward. I also want to make clear that I did not receive any support, financial or otherwise, from Hassan Piker. Hassan never even reached out to me privately to offer words of support. Speaking honestly, I found his indifference to my suffering hurtful, especially after he hinted he might help me behind the scenes. It felt like he...
Okay, and here's where Hassan may have some problems down the road is because I guarantee you this also was part of the settlement. Ethan Klein wanted this in her statement that basically Hassan Piker didn't get an F about me and he abandoned me and everything else. I think as time goes along, I think Ethan is kind of doing a Rico thing here. He's got the smaller fish. Kaceytron, Frogan and Denims are kind of the smaller fish. I think the fish he really wants is Hassan Piker. And see, Kaceytron, she's going to have to turn over all this information, and she's going to be forced to testify if any of these other cases go to trial. And as these people settle, and I predict that Frogan's going to settle real soon because she got even less money than Kaceytron. She's got no way to fight this. So she's going to have to settle up with Ethan Klein. And I'm surprised she didn't do it first. The only reason I can think of is because she's a lot chummier with Hassan Piker than Kaceytron is. And this is going to ruin their relationship. And also, this is going to destroy Frogan. If she has to mea culpa to Ethan Klein, her streaming days are over. Everybody's going to run away. And like I said, I think like Kaceytron, she had a lot of people in Hassan Piker's orbit that donated to her GoFundMe or whatever she was using to pay her lawyer bills. And basically all that money's gone to Ethan Klein. And he says at some point in this video, he basically thanks everyone for donating money to him. But as they have to produce documents because of the settlement, I guarantee you Ethan Klein is looking for things in there, communications, any sort of documentation that could possibly involve Hassan Piker. And like I said, I don't think he's going to get much from Kaceytron. But when Frogan and Denims have to settle up, and Denims is talking tough, but this thing ain't going to ever make it to trial. Ethan Klein, I wouldn't say is an unlimited resources, but he has a lot of resources. And he's just being a monetary bully here. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just describing it. He's got enough money. He's going to push these people around and they're going to be forced to fold. And as it always is in these things, the person that folds first gets the best deal. The next person gets the next best deal. And the last person to fold, which is probably going to be Denims because she's a fucking moron, they're going to get basically almost no deal. I mean, Ethan's going to take Denims to the cleaners when this is all over, in my opinion. This is just how it works. So, like I said, there's a lot of stuff coming. There's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that people aren't seeing yet with this. And it's going to start coming up. And even Asmund Gold commented on this. And he said there may be something else. And I think I know what he's talking about. I'm not going to say it because he won't say it, but I have some sort of strong suspicions that this may be also be heading in another direction.
I wanted to receive credit from the public for helping me without providing any.
Yeah, Hassan's a piece of garbage.
To the extent there are any remaining funds after I pay my attorney's fees, I have agreed to pay the remaining funds to the Kleins.
There we go.
Funds will not go to anyone else, including Denims or Frogan, to defend their lawsuits.
Yep.
For the record, I have agreed to cooperate with the Kleins in their litigation against the H3 Snark mods for promoting my live stream to the extent that I am able. I will offer my support, including testifying under oath to everything I have just stated, to help their cause. I also want to take the opportunity to acknowledge other misconduct and bad behavior I have exhibited online.
By the way, you can't make someone tell a lie during these statements. It may not be the objective truth, but it's definitely not lying. Okay? You can't lie. And I saw, like I said, I saw part of the settlement, and one of the interesting things is the court is maintaining jurisdiction over this matter, which means if either one of these parties steps out of line, the court can step in and inflict damages upon them. So let's say Kaceytron goes back to her old ways of stealing content from Ethan Klein, or starts saying bad things about him online. The court can step in. Same thing if Ethan starts saying bad things about Kaceytron. Kaceytron can go to court and say, hey, Your Honor, Ethan isn't following, and there can be modifications to the settlement. The settlement can be thrown out in some extreme cases because you're violating the rules and terms of the settlement. So there's a lot to lose here on both sides, which is why both sides are playing very nice.
For example, weaponizing the death of Asmongold's mother was inexcusable. I should know better because I have 3 disabled people.
Okay. And while you cannot disparage a dead person legally, if disparaging a dead person causes emotional damage to a living relative, that living relative can sue the person that disparaged the dead person. I know that was kind of hard to follow. So in this case, if Asmongold wanted to sue Kaceytron, he has a pretty good case because she just admitted that she did something really shitty. She admitted that for all intent and purposes, she just lied on, or she just stated on video that she said some pretty shitty stuff about Asmongold's mother. Now, 2 reasons why I don't think Asmongold will do it. One, because Kaceytron doesn't have any more money left. So, I mean, unless you just want to throw her out onto the street and her family, and I don't know if Asmongold really cares about bad press, but it would be bad press. That wouldn't be a good look. The second reason is I don't know Asmongold personally, but I kind of watched some of his videos, and he impresses me as a person that isn't into litigation. He tends to like to get his pound of flesh by his platform. So I have a feeling here what he's going to do is he's just going to dog Kaceytron within the limits of the streaming rules. Anytime she pops up and says the slightest thing that isn't correct, he's going to be all over her like white on rice. And he's just going to mercilessly harass her. That's what I think Asmongold's going to do. And he kind of said, F you, your apology, it isn't real, which is what I said. This is a statement. It's not real. It's probably, for the most part, factual, or at least subjectively factual in nature. So he knows that. I know it. I mean, everybody knows. Anybody that's have been involved in civil lit knows this game. Okay, you're saying things because you're being forced to, not because you actually mean it. That's basically what this all is. So let's continue on.
People that rely on me. Moving forward, I will do better. I also want to apologize to the crew of the H3 podcast, particularly AB and Olivia.
Yeah.
I apologize for calling them cowards.
Okay, and what she said is you had people depending on you that are disabled from what I understand. You put everyone in jeopardy because you're a fucking idiot. All right? You're a fucking idiot. They're depending on you. This YouTube channel was your this Twitch channel was your livelihood. Sorry, not YouTube. But this Twitch channel was your livelihood. And you put all of that in danger because you're a fucking moron. All right? I don't understand it. All right, let's continue.
For not quitting their jobs. That was a shameful attack on two people who deeply care about Palestine and Palestinian people. AB, along with his wife Lena, have done more than I have ever done for the Palestinian people, including raising over $100,000 in charity. Yeah. I recognize that they have actually made Palestinian lives better, and my online antagonism and trolling has not.
Yeah.
I apologize to Ethan and Gila personally. I have said extremely mean and cruel things about both of them, particularly my misogynistic attacks against Gila that never should have been said. I also want to acknowledge the pervasive problem of anti-Semitism in leftist spaces. It should concern all of us. I condemn it and will not participate in it. To that end, I wish the Klein's success in enforcing TED Entertainment's copyright and protecting the legal rights of online content creators.
All right, we're going to stop right there. I don't think I'm going to go any further. If you actually cared about all this, you wouldn't have did what you did in the first place. So again, this is legal speak. This is BS. It's what she was forced to say in the settlement. You know, like I said, this is soulless. She just looks like a broken person. So, you know, I don't know what else there is to say. This is, you know, I guess you can say, you know, I don't know what else to say. When you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So that's basically what's going on here. And now I'm back on camera. All right, so we're done with that. Now we can go into some other fun things like, let's see, Nina Lynn. Yes, Nina Lynn's had 3 suspensions in 5 weeks. Her first suspension was October 25th, sorry. Her and Zoe Spencer caressed Fozzie Silky's assistant, some guy. I think at first they tried to claim it was consensual until the assistant said it wasn't. I mean, I don't know how you get that confused. I think the guy was basically telling her to get off of him. She got back on, but got resuspended on October 30th because more videos of inappropriate conduct surfaced. And also, you know, she's just an awful human being from what I've seen of her. She's unapologetic. I mean, there was a lot of outrage when, you know, some people I think thought this was a one-off with the assistant. And then when they found out it wasn't, they just like lost their minds. And then finally, and I believe she's still suspended from Twitch on December 22nd, she allegedly videoed herself shoplifting stuff from Target. And if this bears out to be true, I hope Target comes after her and throws her in jail for it. I mean, somebody needs a reality check. Somebody needs to be introduced to consequence culture. And no sympathy, no empathy here. She's just an awful human being. And now we get to move on to Emaru. And boy, has Emaru been having a rough time of it. So at TwitchCon this year, she was allegedly assaulted, I believe kissed, by a fan who somehow got past all of TwitchCon security. And then security didn't even detain him after the fact. And he was allowed to leave the venue. It wasn't until Emaru's, I guess, rep called Dan Clancy or called someone at Twitch that this guy was even detained or arrested. I mean, I just don't get that. And I guess it was Emru's private bodyguard that actually got the guy off Emru. And if that wasn't bad enough, Emru's also accused fellow streamer and ex Miskip of SA, domestic abuse, stalking, and harassment. Wow. I don't know what to say. You know, I guess some people just don't know how to pick men. Wow. I mean, I saw a little bit of that recently. I've seen both their videos, and yeah, I kind of believe her a lot more than I believe him. His video didn't really make much sense to me. Hers seemed more sincere, and it made more sense logically. And now let's get to my favorite turd in the world, Hassan Piker. And he recently called Andrew Esquire, also known as Legal Mindset, a fake lawyer. He did it a couple of times. What he doesn't realize is when you call someone a fake something, that's called defamation. And I hope Andrew is seriously considering filing a defamation lawsuit against Hassan Piker. And Hassan is such a retard, he doesn't even know the difference between a lawyer and an attorney. Andrew is an attorney. An attorney is someone that's passed the bar for a state. He's a licensed individual able to practice law on his own. A lawyer is just someone that has a law degree. So if you get a law degree, you can call yourself a lawyer. You're not actually allowed to practice law, at least not on your own. You can do it if you're supervised by an actual attorney. But you cannot practice law on your own until you have a license. In the United States, you need to pass one of the state bars. And, depending on the state, some of those bar exams can be really tough because there's a lot of information. Like the civil code out here in California, I used to have to do the updates for these things. I was a librarian at one time for a law firm. And let me tell you, the civil code for California, it's just so voluminous you wouldn't even believe it. So there's a lot of information. New York's bar is pretty tough as well. A lot of laws to learn. And basically the bar can be just about anything they picked and choose to throw out at you. So you have to be very well-rounded. And a lot of times what they tell you to do to study for the bars, don't study the stuff you already know, study the stuff you don't know, which makes perfect sense because you don't have a lot of time here. And there's just a ton of information that you've got to try and learn. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed all this as much as I did. I mean, I love this shit. Twitch is just like a train wreck. I mean, you can't look away. I don't know how Dan Clancy's still got a job, and I don't know how Bezos is putting up with this train wreck, but I don't think he'll be putting up with it for much longer. I think within the next 2 years, he's either going to sell it or he's just going to shut it down because I don't see how it makes money. And you just constantly got these headaches. I mean, I just listed a few things that are going on Twitch. There's even more. I just highlighted some of the ones that I thought were very interesting. And you've got a moron running Twitch. Dan Clancy doesn't know how to run a company at all. There is just no consistency to dealing out suspensions or punishments. If you're a female, you usually get off the hook because he's got a thing for young women. He wants to ingratiate himself to them. And, if you're leaning slightly to the right or further to the right, if you step a little bit out of the line, you get a permaban, you get, your channel gets taken down and you get kicked. So it's garbage. I think most of the content on there is pretty much garbage. I mean, there's a lot of lousy human beings, and Twitch is the only place they could go. I guarantee you Hassan Piker would never survive on YouTube. He wouldn't. They would permanent ban him, and they would take down his channel probably within a couple of weeks or a month. Or he would have to start towing the line, and he would bleed subscribers like you wouldn't believe. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap up this video. It probably went a little longer than I wanted to, so I apologize to everyone. And with that, like my father told me when I was 18 years old, get out.